when we start to think of our work and our life as something to be crafted, it's a game changer. Think about that. Think about the difference between artisan crafted food and mass-produced fast food. Major difference. Major difference in terms of the experience of it, how it nourishes us, all the things. This is what can happen in your work life as well. Are you treating your work, your occupation, your contribution as a craft to be honed? Welcome to the Love Your Work Life podcast, where you will get encouragement, strategies, all the things you need to love your work life. This is about transformational, strength-based coaching for career, for leadership, for life. I'm your host, Elissa Shuck. Let's get started. I've got to be honest, I am riding high today. And the reason is because clients are landing jobs. I don't work with very many people at a time because my one-on-one coaching is so deeply personal and customized. Listen, when you're in a toxic job and you're trying to search for another job, things can happen. And sometimes when we thought we were doing job search strategy, it turns into life coaching. So the work I do is so special to me, and it's especially a happy day today because clients are moving forward in the interview process, close to offers, people are getting offers. It just makes me feel good that this podcast is called Love Your Work Life, because it's absolutely possible to love your work life. Some of you who are listening, maybe that's your experience. If you're listening and it's not your experience, then today is going to be a great episode for you, because what you think about what you do, how you approach what you do, makes a difference. And this is why I always say life coaching goes hand in hand with career coaching. This is why I talk about these three topics all the time: career, leadership, and life. Because those things are just part of what we do. And even if you're not in a leadership role, my friend, you're leading your life. This is what we do. This is what we must pay attention to. This must be our intention. I love what Michael Beckwith says is that we've got too many people out there with an intention deficit. Nothing but unhappiness can happen if you're not paying attention to your intention. So, what do I mean when I say love your work life? Oh, I've had many jobs that I absolutely loved. Anytime it started to turn south and I didn't love it, it wasn't really the work itself that I didn't like anymore. It was a change of culture. It was a change of leadership. It was an environment that started to turn because of outside pressures, internal strife, all of those kinds of things. But even if you're having that experience, you can still find a sense of purpose. You can still find what's meaningful to you, and you can grab onto that like your life depends on it. And if you're in a toxic workplace, then I've been there. I know your life depends on you finding the value in that experience while you navigate the toxicity and the things that are having you question whether you want to stay there or not. A great book that I read and have reread, I'm not sure how many times, but it's by Rob Bell and it's called How to Be Here. Such a cool title and such a great journey that he takes us on in this book. And one of the things that stood out to me as I was thinking about today's topic was what he says about craft. When we start to think of our work and our life as something to be crafted, it's a game changer. Think about that. Think about the difference between artisan crafted food and mass-produced fast food. Major difference. Major difference in terms of the experience of it, how it nourishes us, all the things. This is what can happen in your work life as well. Are you treating your work, your occupation, your contribution as a craft to be honed and nurtured and expanded? Or are you just looking for the fast route to success? Because success doesn't actually equal fulfillment all the time. Sometimes you can make something happen, you can force an issue, you can get a success. If it's not based on craft, then that exciting feeling of achieving something fades really fast. Here's a quote that I read on LinkedIn today. The reason we want every little thing that we want is because we think we're going to feel better. We think we're going to feel really good when we get there. But if you don't feel really good on your way there, you can't get there. We have to be satisfied with what is, with the present moment, with our current situation while we're reaching for more. And it seems counterintuitive, and especially because the world is teaching us that, hey, ambition and grit and grind and all that stuff is how we attain what we want. But the reality is there's a journey to get there. And the journey is craft. The journey is attention. The journey is intention. Infusing what you do with meaning. I've often thought about professions that I would never think of myself as participating in. It just doesn't seem interesting to me. Yet there are people doing those professions, but they infuse it with meaning, and you can tell because the quality of what they do is at such a high level. Great companies establish a culture that empowers people to infuse their work with meaning, to create a craft out of what they do. It makes it so much easier. I have had the amazing blessing of staying at the Four Seasons a couple of times. And let me tell you, that culture is all about service. Every single interaction is such a well-crafted experience. You will never forget how you were treated if you stay at a Four Seasons hotel. And it starts from the culture of the organization. And it is about empowering people to infuse their work with purpose. We don't have to stay at a luxury hotel in order to experience that kind of meaning and purpose and craft either. You know it when you walk into a restaurant and the server is really into their job. You can just tell, right? We have that same opportunity in everything that we do, even in the midst of adversity. And sometimes that's when you need it the most. That's called craft. The other thing I think about when I think about craft is the quality of the investment that we're making into that craft. Are you adding more knowledge? Are you constantly leveling up your craft? When you treat your career, your work, your life as a craft, you're naturally going to gravitate to things that elevate it. If you don't find yourself doing that, then it's probably time for a little introspection. Do a rethink, to ask yourself some good questions. I talk about the strengths assessment that I have all my clients participate in a lot on this podcast. At least it feels like I do, because I love that assessment so much. It's all about the strengths. One of the worksheets that comes with the assessment is helping people connect the dots between the things that they enjoy, the things that they are gravitating to and feel good doing in their work, and finding the alignment to that to the natural innate strengths that you have. When you're not feeling connected, when you are feeling like you're just going through the motions, that's a great time to do some self-evaluation. Ask yourself, what do I actually enjoy about what I'm doing? What is it that makes it enjoyable? And then how is that connected to what makes me tick as a person? Maybe you love the details. Maybe that's where you lose time. Maybe that's where you go into a flow state. And your current role is having you be all about big picture thinking. And so you're missing that natural strength you have, that behavior you have that is meticulous and focused and ordered and structured. These are the kind of questions you can ask. And this is going to be such an epiphany moment for you, because you will start to connect the dots for yourself. And when you find the things that are aligned to your strength, it's much easier to find the craft and the meaning and the purpose, because it's not just about success. It's about service, and it's about finding that deeper connection within you. I want to read something from Rob Bell's book about craft. This is what he says. There is a difference between craft and success. Craft is when you have a profound sense of gratitude that you even get to do this. Craft is when you relish the details. Craft is your awareness that all the hours you're putting in are adding up to something. They're producing in you a skill and character and substance. Craft is when you meet up with someone else who's serious about their craft, and you can talk for hours about the subtle nuances and acquired wisdom of the work. Craft is when you realize that you're building muscles and habits that are helping you do better at what you do. Craft is when you have a deep respect for the form and shape and content of what you're doing. Craft is when you see yourself part of a long line of people who have done this particular work. Craft is when you're humbled because you know that no matter how many years you get to do this, there will always be room to learn and grow. You can decide to feel that way about your work right now. You can look for the details that feel good. You can realize that what you've been doing has an accumulated value that no one can take away from you, that you can decide to leverage to the next thing, the new thing, the shift, the pivot, the promotion, whatever seems to be calling to you. And I love the idea that you can feel both grateful and humbled at the same time. That you can look at the work you are doing now. You can look at the work you've done in the past. I've been having a lot of moments about my past career in the corporate world and in small businesses, and the people I've worked with and the work we did together. But it's not quite nostalgia. It's an appreciation. It's gratitude. It's, wow, that role put me in with this group of people. That role had me expressing my gifts and talents in that particular way, and that there's nothing to regret about it. You'll never have regrets if you treat your career, your occupation, your work as craft. All right, my friends, I will talk to you again soon. If you like listening to this podcast, I invite you to visit the Love Your Work Life website at elissashuck-careercoach.com. On the site, you're going to find free resources and information about all of my coaching programs, everything you need to land a great job, advance your career, and lead and build an awesome team. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and don't forget to follow me on LinkedIn.